nerds, Sarah the Vegan Hooper here, and today I'll be doing a tutorial that I have been putting off for a very long time, and that will be the behind the back waist wrap. The reason I have been putting this off is because I can explain what the hoops are doing, but if you don't know what your hands are doing, it's very hard to explain what your hands are doing. So I'll try to teach you both, and just so you know, it takes a lot of practice. It took me a long time to get the behind the back waist wrap, even though I had the front waist wrap down pat. So prerequisites for this tutorial that will help you immensely are these bad boys, hip reels. I do have a tutorial. It's one of my first tutorials I've ever posted, and I will put that in the description box below. Usually when I do hip reels, there are a lot of different variables for this, but I like my left hand to be led with the pointer finger, my right hand to be led with the pinky. Now, it'll be very important that you know how to do a pinky led hip reel. It doesn't matter what hand it is. Just knowing what your hand is doing, because you are not doing a weave to the side, okay? You are actually doing a completely different move. You're rainbowing the hoop back, lifting the hoop up, and then here's when the hand thing comes into play, because your hand is doing a strange penguin movement to do it again. So I will, like I said, post it in the description box below. If you know how to do hip reels, it'll help you so much. And last but not least, remember, this takes practice. This isn't like, you know, some easy move. It does take time to learn, especially if you're new to twins or you don't know hip reels, because you are doing something that may hurt your wrist at the time, but eventually your wrists will get used to the movement. You're doing something strange with your hands. Your hands, your hoops, and your hips are all doing something at the same time. So practice, practice, practice. But anyways, with no further ado, if you have a set of twin hoops and you want to learn the behind the back waist wrap, then let's jump right in. So to begin this move, I do want to state that I get into this move by doing hip reels and then going right into the move. I will teach you how to do this, of course, without hip reels, but sometimes the momentum from it is very helpful. Now we are going to start on our right side of the body, both hoops on the right side of the body, and end with both hoops on the left side of our body. You can do it the other way around, but I am teaching it right to left, okay? We are going to start with the easier hand, the pinky led hand, which is my right hand. My right hand starts in front and ends behind my back, okay? Alright, so like I said, right hand is pinky led the whole time. It's hard to break this move up, so learning each hand separately and practicing it a lot will be very helpful for you. Momentum, of course, is important. And there are no thumb in, hand in, surface switches, finger switches at all. So you're holding on with a loose grip the whole time to your hoop. So with my right hand, I'm going to start with the hoop in front of me. I have my thumb pointing up. All I want to do is turn the hoop so that my thumb is pointing down. So now the hoop is framing my face and my thumb is pointing down. That is because this hoop is pinky led. My right hand is pinky led, and I want to begin by rainbowing the hoop down or swooshing the hoop down all the way until it is behind my right leg. Okay? And I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing from here. So, all the way down, and then I am going to push the hoop up, keeping my hand in the same spot for a second. So you can even use your thumb if you don't get what I'm saying, but you want the hoop, when it goes down, to then go up, okay? We want it to frame our shoulders and back. We don't want it to frame our legs like it just did. So think about it that way. So you bring the hoop down and the hoop is framing your shins. Then you're going to push the hoop up. Even if you need your thumb to know which way it's going, push the hoop up so it is framing your back. All right, and then from here, you're going to let the hoop fall down a little bit more to your right side, okay? This is when the loose grip comes into play, because we want to have our wrists very flexible. Of course, it's being led with the pinky. So what we're doing here is making a circle or a loop, you know, a circle behind our back. So I'm going to explain this by you looking at my wrist, okay? My wrist is, when I bring the hoop down, my wrist is facing my butt, my wrist is facing my left, my wrist is facing my right. And when I am done with the whole turn, because we want it to be framing our shins again, the wrist will be facing my back / butt again, but it's in an awkward turned position. Okay? I'll try to do it slow. Your pinky led, bringing it behind your back. You're looping it once, okay? And then from here, I'm going to turn around again. What we're going to do from here is, if you notice the hoop is at your side, your opposite side, which is your left side, we want to make a loop in front of us. So we are going to take the hoop with our other hand and push the back of our hoop where our thumb is. We're going to go down a little bit, okay? And we're going to just push it up towards our armpit, or up just to see where the hoop goes, okay? So if you push it up towards your armpit, and then kind of move your hip and breast. You could even turn to the side a little bit and push the hoop down further. That's where you want the hoop to go, okay? So after you did your loop, you want the hoop. I'm just using my other hand so you have many different ways to learn this move, okay? So if using your other hand helps, then it helps, okay? So I am going to push the hoop up towards my armpit, okay, because right now it's just sitting towards my left hip. I'm going to push the hoop up towards my armpit, move my hip out of the way, and then push it in front of me, touching my left breast first, and then it is going to swoosh down until my wrist is facing forward and it's comfortable again, okay? And it looks like this. Okay? And if you notice, I am pushing my right hip out to give me more space, okay? So, behind the legs, loop up, bring the hoop up, and now it's comfortable again. Then from here, pinky led, you're going to trace your way back. So trace the bottom of your back until you are back to start. And when I am doing this, I am holding the hoop like this. I'm not even gripping the hoop. I'm holding the hoop very loosely in my hands. So when I say you start with your thumb pointing up and then you turn the hoop so it's framing your face with your thumb pointing down, when my thumb is pointing down, this is when I begin my loose grip, okay? So I am going to rainbow the hoop up until it is near my shins. I'm going to push the hoop up with my thumb until it is framing my shoulders. Let the hoop drop towards my right side until it's uncomfortable, okay? Or until it's down to my right side. Then move my hip out of the way. The hoop will then go up to the armpit, up to the breast, fall down towards the left hip, and then you're going to trace your way back to start with your thumb pointing down again. And if you still can't get this, try speeding it up a little bit. Alright guys, now we're going to talk about what the left hand does. If you notice, your right hand starts in front and then it is bent. Your left hand is going to start bent and then end up in front. So they're opposite. So my left hand is going to be led with the pointer finger the whole time. Right hand led with the pinky, left hand led with the pointer finger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hoop, my left hoop with the thumb pointing up, and turn it so that my thumb is pointing down and my wrist is facing the back of me. I am going to bring the hoop behind me until my arm is bent. So, okay? And this is how we are going to start this move. Of course, you're going to want to move your hip out of the way because you are starting by doing something on this side of your body, your right side of your body, and it is led with the pointer finger the whole time. Now, what your left hand is going to do is it is going to push up. So what you do is you start with the hoop basically framing your stomach, butt, and thigh, okay? And you want to use your thumb to push the hoop up so that it is framing your breast, framing your armpit, framing your head for a second, and then you're letting the hoop fall behind you. Okay? Remember, loose grip. Now from here, when it's going to fall behind you, what you're going to do is move of course your hip will be out of the way, is instead of letting it fall back perfectly, you can't do that. Your wrist doesn't move that way. So you're going to let it fall at an angle, okay? So it's sort of falling, instead of it falling back perfectly like that, you want it to go back like that. Okay? Almost like you are doing like you're trying to keep a weave going behind your back, okay? So you're going to push the hoop up, framing your shoulder, let the hoop fall down, and this is when you're going to move your hand from where it started, like on your hip, to maybe your mid-back, okay? And together it looks like this, okay? Now it's awkward looking, it doesn't look pretty, but that's because we're going to do a loop again behind my back, which looks like this. Okay, so when we bring the hoop up towards our shoulder and let the hoop fall down, the wrist is facing you the whole time. But I want to use my pinky to push the hoop up so it goes from framing my leg sort of to my left shoulder to my head and then down again until the hoop is framing my shins and my wrist is pointed towards my body or my back. So it starts like this and it ends like this with the loop, okay? So you're going to bring the hoop behind your back and push the hoop up using your pointer finger and thumb so that it is framing my right shoulder. Let the hoop fall down at an angle so that immediately when it falls down, you can use your pinky to push the hoop up to frame your head and then let the hoop fall down to frame your shins with your wrist facing your back. This is so hard to explain, but it helps if instead of when you begin by your thumb pointing up, point it down and bring it behind your back, instead of it just chilling right here, try having the hoop start here, okay? So just curl your hand so that the hoop is now touching your breasts, okay, or your right breast. For some reason, this is just so helpful to me, not starting like this, but actually pushing the hoop and beginning with the hoop actually framing my body rather than it framing nothing over here. Okay, so the hoop is framing basically my body. I am pushing the hoop up to frame my armpit, letting the hoop fall down at an angle with my wrist facing you, using my pinky to push the hoop up to frame my head, and then letting the hoop fall down to frame my shins with my wrist now facing my back, my lower back. Now from here, what I'm going to do is, because this is pointer lead, is when it is touching, it's basically right now touching my left butt cheek, the top of it. I want to just bring the hoop up by pushing the hoop up and do a weave on my side, okay? So how you do that is use your pointer finger to push the hoop up. So now it is by my left shin, and push the hoop up so that it is now by my left shoulder. Let the hoop fall down so that it is now framing my midsection. And then when you get to your thumb pointing down, you're going to drag the hoop all the way back to start to do it again. Now it's time to put both hoops together. Remember that the right hoop is pinky lead, the left hoop is behind the back, pointer lead. So we turn both hoops so that our thumbs are pointing down. We bring our left hoop behind our back and let it frame us, okay? And then we'll turn our hoop here so that our hoop is framing my right hoop, which is pinky lead, is framing my face, and my right hoop that is behind my back is framing sort of my body, okay? This is how we begin. Now, the pinky lead hoop, my right hoop, is leading the whole time. My pointer lead left hoop is chasing the whole time. So my right hoop is going to go first because it's leading. So it's going to rainbow down to my shins, if you remember, and then curls up to frame from my shins to my face and falling down again. This hoop behind my back, my left hoop, is going to then go up, fall down, and then it's going to go to its shins to my head, okay? So they're taking turns. So first, we'll swoosh my pinky lead right hoop down, rainbow it down to my shins, while I push my left hoop up to do that sideways fall, okay? That sideways fall needs to happen so that it can do its framing the shins, then framing the face after my right hand just did it, okay? So my right hand could go right into rainbow, shins, head, but my behind the back left hoop has to do that little half push down so that it can do shins and head. So pinky lead right goes down first. Then when it gets to my shins, I'm going to begin that little half turn or half thing. When I am doing this half thing, you can notice that my wrists are very close together, but my right is in front. After I do this little half turn, I am bringing my right hoop up to my head, so that this hoop is now falling down and switching places, okay? And together it looks like this. So if all you can do is this, then congratulations, okay? Just getting the movement of it chasing each other is very hard to do, okay? But the right is pinky lead coming down first. Once it is almost down to my shins, I'm going to pop this hoop up. By the time this hoop is down to my shins, my first hoop should already be up to my head, okay? Then they'll switch places like that, all right? And then once they switch places, my first hoop, my right hoop, will do the left side and drag back, and then my left hoop will do the weave on the side and drag back. Let me show you with two different colors. My right hand will have the bright hoop, which is led with the pinky. My left hand will be led with the pointer finger. It has the pink. So my yellow hoop is going to be leading the whole time. So if you notice, it weaves first behind my back. Then this one does its sideways weave. Now they switch places, and my yellow hoop is going to weave to my side first, then my left hoop is going to weave second. So notice how they switch places, and notice how my yellow is leading the whole time. Practice, practice, practice. Check out Monica Marie Hoops, her tutorial she has on it for using a thumb spin. I'll post that in the description box below. That helped me a lot, learning how to, spin the hoop on my thumb behind my back. Check out Michelle Hazard. She has a tutorial for that. Very, very helpful. That's where I learned it from. And practice. Don't forget, your hoops are doing one thing, your wrist is doing another, but you cannot do any of it if when you are on your right side, you don't push your hip out of the way, and then when you're on your left side, push the hip out of the way. And of course, I bounce a little bit just to get the hoops up there. So I jump a little bit just to get the hoops up there. And like I said, it helps when you begin with hip reels. So my right bright hoop is a pinky led hip reel. My left pink hoop is a pointer finger hip reel. That makes it perfect for when I go behind my back to do this move. And it also is giving it momentum, okay? I hope this helped. I hope it's not too long. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Both sets of hoops shown in this video is from Festival Treasures Etsy shop. Use my code VEGANHOOPER for 10% off of your purchase total. I give Skype lessons. If anyone wants to learn clean tech or learn something fun and new, DM me on Instagram. And follow me on Instagram. My name is Miss Maynard Keenan. I'd love to see you there. And don't forget to practice, hoop nerds. Practice, practice, practice. I love you guys. Peace and happy hooping. Mwah. God bless.